Good evening, everybody. Brendan Dzwierzynski here with you live from just outside of Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, where tonight the Kansas Jayhawks made light work of the Texas Southern Tigers by a margin of 87-55. The Jayhawks improving to 7-1 on the season, and importantly, bouncing back from their first loss of the year this past Friday, at the Battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas. Their first loss to Tennessee, and that included, in the immediate aftermath on Monday, a 6-spot drop in the AP poll from number 3 all the way down to number 9, but still top 10 for the Jayhawks this week. And it wasn't just a single individual who had the biggest performance of the night for the Jayhawks in this one. In fact, 5 different players for KU ended up in double figures in the contest on Monday night. That included another big day for Jalen Wilson, 22 points in the game. That tied for the game high for all scorers. He goes 8 of 16 from the field and 5 of 10 from three-point range. That is a new career high in number of three-point field goals made in a single game, and that also ties his career high in number of three-pointers attempted in a single game. 6 assists in the contest as well, 5 rebounds, all around very effective night for Jalen Wilson, which is what you've come to expect from Jay Will over the course of the season. That was one of 5 double-figure performances for KU players, as I mentioned in this game. A couple of freshmen getting into double figures in this one. You had Grady Dick with another 15 points, just a normal day at the office for Dick at this point, who has become such an effective scorer for this KU team, a team that has really badly needed to find some consistent offense. He has become a source of that. But MJ Rice as well had the breakout game of his early part of the season, 19 points in the contest, and an efficient 19 as well. 6 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 4 from three-point range, and 5 out of 6 at the free throw line as well. Now, Rice has dealt with so many health ailments to start this season. Just recently, he's dealt with a back issue. He also had COVID, and then he actually had to go to the hospital due to kidney stones. He just told us that during the post-game press conference at Allen Fieldhouse a little while ago, and the kidney stones were enough that it kept him out of playing time. He's only practiced, according to Bill Self, 2 times since going back all the way to the Omaha game at the very start of the year for KU. So for him to come out, be that effective, and score that much against this Texas Southern team is important for him. But Self also included that, hey, this isn't like playing against Tennessee or Wisconsin in the last 2 games. Texas Southern, not that kind of team defensively, not that kind of team in terms of size, length, speed, athleticism, all of that. So it'll mean a lot more when Rice can do that against some of the tougher opponents that KU is obviously going to face in the near future. We'll get to some of those coming up in just a moment. The other 2 double-figure scorers for KU in this contest, they got 10 points in the game from KJ Adams. I know I'm moving my camera a little bit out here. We're outside. It's a little bit cold, getting all tipsy a little bit. Not that kind of tipsy. But KJ Adams, he ends up with 10 points in the contest, and 14 as well for the second game in a row from Joseph Yesufu. Those are the first 2 games in a KU uniform that he has scored in double figures, first time since all the way back when he was at Drake in the 2020-2021 NCAA tournament. And he also got his first start of his KU career on Monday night as well. He did start a handful of times at the end of his run at Drake, his first 2 years there, but it was his first start tonight due to a strained groin for normal starter Kevin McCullough. Now, KU a little bit shorthanded with no McCullough tonight, no Bobby Pettiford either, who is dealing with a hamstring issue, and Bill Self said he's not even sure if it's the same hamstring that has hampered Pettiford in the past, but with extra playing time available, MJ Rice, we mentioned already, and then Joseph Yesufu as well, were able to make the most of it and came away with big games tonight. And it's something that for Yesufu, again, when we talk about KU needing to get more consistent scoring, getting a guy out there who can shoot the ball efficiently, who's also the fastest player on the court when he's able to go in and play, that's a big benefit for KU. And Self said, too, during his post-game comments that, hey, you need a guy in Yesufu who can come in and make 2 of every 5 shots from beyond the arc when he comes into the game. Well, he did just that, and in fact, better in this contest, going 3 of 5 from beyond the arc and 4 of 7 from the floor overall. A couple other things to note in this game for KU, aside from the individual performances. Team shooting was fantastic. Jayhawks shoot 54.5% from the floor for the game, 44.8% from three-point range. So offensively, that was not an issue in this contest like it was in the games against Wisconsin and Tennessee back in the Bahamas. Also, speaking of that Tennessee game, rebounding, major bugaboo for the Jayhawks in that contest. Well, they were able to take a dominant advantage in rebounding in this game over Texas Southern, 35-25. But again, it is important to keep in mind, this is not the kind of team that KU is going to be facing coming up on Thursday Thursday, for example, right back here at Allen Fieldhouse when they take on the Pirates of Seton Hall, a Big East team. It's the part of this year's Big East Big 12 battle. They've also got Missouri coming up in 9 days after that. Indiana is coming up on December 17th as well. And obviously, we know how physical and athletic the rest of the Big 12 is. So that is going to be crucial for KU to keep up the energy, rebounding, and to find guys who can consistently do that. We can talk all we want about consistent scoring for this Jayhawks team, but consistent rebounding is going to be crucial as well, as the development still comes along slowly for some of these young post players for KU. The Ernest Udays, who had a couple okay minutes in this game tonight. The Zuby Ejiofor, same thing, a couple of okay minutes in this game tonight, spelling KJ Adams at the 5. Those guys need to make sure they can continue to pick up the pace. They can continue to be effective on the glass. Plenty of good rebounding minutes every single game from Jalen Wilson. Tonight from Grady Dick, that was great to see. But those big men are going to have to pick up the rebounding pace if KU wants to keep pace with the rest of the Big 12. By the way, we should note that Devon Barnes of Texas Southern, he was the game-high scorer for the Tigers in this one. He had 22 points, tying that game high from Jalen Wilson. So with that, KU again improves to 7-1. They've got the Big East Big 12 battle coming up this Thursday night. It'll be right back here at Allen Fieldhouse against the Seton Hall Pirates. They're 4-3 on the year, and they're coming off back-to-back losses against another Big 12 team, Oklahoma, as well as Siena, the Saints of Siena. We will have coverage of that game coming up live here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook as well, following that contest. And of course, we'll be talking plenty of college hoops all week long, both on Mic'd Up with Jake and Fulton from noon to 3, and on 580 Sports Talk with myself and Dan Lucero from 3 to 6 on the Sports Voice of Kansas. One more time, your final score from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence tonight. It is the Kansas Jayhawks with 87 and the Texas Southern Tigers with 55. For the Sports on 580 crew, I'm Brendan Dzwierzynski.